Later this year, inside of the Elder Scrolls Online Season 1, we're going to get new story content, zone updates, and a Thieves Guild sequel. Jason Barnes talked about this recently in the developer live stream. He kicked off the live stream in his section talking about the Sheogorath Questline. Now, this was a lot bigger than I expected when I first heard about this. When they first started talking about having a storyline for Sheogorath, I thought it's going to be something small. It seems to be a bit bigger than that. This story is going to take you all over Tamriel, but they're actually going to be sending you back to the older zones, which I know does not sound that exciting, but he said they're actually adding new locations and new things to do inside of those older areas. Adding new locations inside of the older zones is a great idea. People want to see these older zones revamped, redone, art styles, and all that stuff, like they've been doing with the starter zones. But actually adding new locations and new things to do in these older areas is a great way to get people to go to these areas even after they've completed this story. He says they're also building a brand new puzzle idea for this quest line specifically. This is going to be one of the newer things you experience in these storylines. He's kind of talked about it and showed off some examples. He said it's not completed yet, but expect more news about that in the future. He also talked about some new creatures, or a new creature that will be inside of this storyline as well. I think this one's going to be, of course, weird, chaotic, and probably pretty funny, like all of the Sheogorath stories have been over the years. And I'm very interested to see how this quest line idea they're doing with these seasons are going to work out going forward, because this sounds, like I said, a lot bigger than I expected it to be. And I think the best part of this is using quest lines as a chance to add more life to the older zones. Not just really going back there and doing a story in the zone we already know and been to hundreds of times, but actually expanding them, giving them more points of interest maybe, giving them more things to interact with, more reasons to really, like I said, go back there even after you've completed the story. And I think it's a smart way to make the game and Tamriel in general feel fresh without having to have a brand new map, because we know we're not getting brand new zones year in and year out anymore. We are going to get new zones at some point, but refreshing the older zones and actually adding things to them is a really cool idea in my opinion. He also gave us an early look at the new Thieves Guild sequel, and yes, this will be a continuation of the original Thieves Guild storyline. He said this time around you'll be working with a new cast of characters as you help rebuild the guild from the ground up. They're also giving the guild a new logo, and several of the guild related buildings are getting new interior designs to kind of match their new updated identity that they're going for in game. Kind of just once again another refresh. It will be a full refresh, not just kind of a follow-up to that story. And he did show off two different logos. The one he said on the left is going to be the logo you see in game and kind of what the guild uses. The one on the right, he says he cannot tell you what that is yet. So I'm kind of curious what that logo for the Thieves Guild is going to represent. One new thing that they're adding in that's kind of small, but I thought needed to be added into ESO long ago, is a quest order pop-up. So when you start a major storyline, the game will now tell you whether you're beginning the quest in the intended order or jumping in based on your current progression. And the best part is you can kind of choose, yes, I want to start here, or no, I would like to go back to the beginning. And it's going to let you know where the beginning of that storyline started. So you can play the story chronologically if you prefer to, or you can just play it out however you want. This is a big quality of life change. This is something I think new players needed long ago. They needed the ability to know what order to play the story in if they're wanting to do it from start to finish. And I've seen tons of people ask that question over the years. What's the order of all the DLC? What's the order of, everything after you finish the main story in the original base game? So this is a really good new feature, and I'm glad they are adding this in. That's pretty much everything that Jason had to talk about during the stream. Some new quest lines, some new puzzles, some new zone additions, and a full guild sequel for the Thieves Guild. It's shaping up to be a pretty interesting year inside of the seasonal content idea in the Elder Scrolls Online. Can they keep this pace throughout the year? We'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you're most excited for, and of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.